Welcome to the This Mum Loves Tech podcast, the go-to show for female business owners who want to simplify tech and get the support they need to grow their online businesses with confidence. I'm Nicola Walsh, your podcast host. I'm also a mum to two cheeky boys and I love tech, so you don't have to. I'm here to share actionable tips, tools and strategies that will help you streamline your business and make the tech work for you. So whether you're watching after the kids have gone to bed or listening while on the school run, let's dive into today's episode and make tech that little bit easier. Hello and welcome to the very first episode of the This Mum Loves Tech podcast. I'm so excited to have you here and I'm not messing around. I am diving straight in to the 5 key tech decisions that every online business owner needs to make. These choices are crucial in getting started or helping your business grow, but I don't want them to feel overwhelming. So I'm going to be sharing my tips in this episode to help you make these decisions with confidence. So what are these tech decisions? So I'm going to be covering today buying a domain name. Now this is the first step in owning the online space of your business. Number 2, setting up a professional email address, why it matters and how you can do it. Number 3, how to market yourself. With so many choices, where do you even start? Number 4, booking calls for your services, how you can get people booked in. And finally, and most importantly, getting paid. How are you going to get people to pay you? There's loads of different options for this. Some of them more manual, some of them tech. I'm just going to go through some of the options that can make the transactions that much smoother and easier. So let's get started with the basics. A domain name. Well, what is it? A domain name is simply the address people use to find your business, like thismumlovestech.co.uk. But it's not just for your website, it's your business's digital home. Once you own it, it also helps protect your business because only one person in the whole entire world can have each domain name. Now, I'm just going to clarify that people can have different endings. So .com, .co.uk, the bit at the front can be the same, but only one person can have the .co.uk, only one person can have the .com. So the whole domain name in its entirety can only be owned by one person. But that's not all. You can use your domain name for your website, email accounts, online learning platforms. It is basically your piece of the online world. So some of the most common questions I get asked about domain names is, where should I buy it from? There are lots of domain providers and I've used several, including GoDaddy, Namecheap, Hostinger. It doesn't matter who you choose as long as they're reputable and reliable. Just make sure they offer good customer support, especially if you need help with adding records to your domain for things like your website, your professional email address, your email marketing tools. And a quick tip, be mindful of renewal prices. A domain name should only cost you between £8 and £20 a year. So avoid getting hooked on a great introductory deal that then jumps up in price later. So what should I use for my domain name? I see this on the online space all the time, people stressing about what to call themselves. And it's what stops a lot of people from getting started. So if you don't have a business name yet, don't worry. Just use your name and what you do. For example, if you're a photographer, I would use something like Nicola Walsh Photography. If you're a business coach, I could do Nicola Walsh Coaching. It doesn't matter if you have to change it later. Many people change their business names as they grow. So I would just recommend get started with something simple and change it when the time is right. Just get started, get going. Don't let choosing a name hold you back because it's inevitably going to change. I can tell you I've changed mine 3 times already. Another tip I have with that is make sure your domain name is easy to spell and easy to remember. The last thing you want is for people to struggle when when they're telling others about your business that they can't remember what their name is. So keep it simple and keep it memorable. And my final tip when it comes to domain names, I will move on in a minute, is if you want to protect your business even further, purchase those other endings we were talking about earlier. the other endings of the domain name. So if you want to use .com, but you are in the UK, for example, I would highly recommend you buy .co.uk as well. That just doubly protects your business. And what you can do is you can have everything point to from one to the other. So if you want to use .com as your main one, you can have everything from .co.uk automatically open on the .com. Any emails land in the same inbox. It just means that if people are in a certain area or in a certain country and they're more used to that ending, they may accidentally type that in, and you don't want to lose those clients because they've put the wrong one in. Buy as many as you feel appropriate. They don't cost very much, and it just means that you have kind of stopped anybody else from getting that name and using it. Okay, so that is finally enough about domains. So let's go into key decision number 2, and that is setting up a professional email address. So without a doubt, you need to have a separate email address for your business and your personal emails, because hopefully your inbox is going to be buzzing with client inquiries. So you don't want to be trying to find them among the hundreds of school emails and the sale emails from your favorite shops. Now, you could go down the free route and have an @Gmail or @Hotmail with your business name in the front of it. And that will be fine for a while. But as soon as you want to kind of take things to the next step and get started with email marketing, which I'll explain more of in a minute, you are going to need a professional email address, one that's connected to that domain name that we've decided on from decision number 1, so that your email address ends in @yourbusinessname.com.co.uk, whatever one you went with. Now, some domain providers will offer you a business email address, which is sometimes free or just a small monetary amount, which is great to get started and is better than @Gmail or @Hotmail. However, these free inboxes are usually very basic and are just an email and don't offer much else. Now, this is why I recommend Google Workspace. It's a way of getting a Gmail inbox, which you might be used to using and familiar with, but run through your domain email address. But with a Google Workspace account, you don't just get your emails, you get Google Drive, Google Calendar, Google Docs. So you can keep all of your important business information under one account. If you want to set up a Google My Business profile, use Google Analytics from a website, you're going to need to have a Google account. So it's a lot easier and less confusing for you if it just runs through one email address. You haven't got to think, oh, what account did I set this up with? It would just all run through that one business email. So if you want to save yourself the hassle of having a business email and a Gmail email, you can put it all under one Google account. Now, if you want to find out more about Google Workspace, I am running a free masterclass for This Mum Loves Tech community on Thursday, the 23rd of January, 2025 at 1 p.m. And I will be taking you step by step through setting up a Google Workspace account. The link to register for that masterclass is in the show notes. Now, if you're listening to this after Thursday, the 23rd of January, don't worry. You can catch all of the masterclass replays as part of the This Mum Loves Tech membership. So I've put the link for that in the show notes as well. Yeah, and the masterclass link, that will work. Every month I do a free monthly masterclass in This Mum Loves Tech, and that's the same link. So you just register once for whatever masterclass happens to be going on at the time of registering, and then that's it. You're there on the list every time I run them every month, and you can just unsubscribe when you don't want to join them anymore. Okay, so let's get back to the key decisions, and we're up to number 3, and that is the biggie. How are you going to market yourself? Let's face it, clients are not going to come to you if they don't know anything about you. They need a way to find out about you and what you do. And there are so many options for marketing yourself. Social media, email marketing, networking, both in person and online, podcast, blogging. The list is endless and frankly overwhelming. If it all gets too much, I would encourage you to just pick 3 things to focus on at a time, maybe for each quarter of the year. And part of those 3 things, I would include a social media platform, email marketing, and then one other kind of strategy to get you out into the world. So you'll notice I said a social media platform. I don't mean all the social media. I would just pick one platform to concentrate for each quarter. So for me, quarter one of 2025, my focus is on LinkedIn, and you will see me on there a lot. It doesn't mean you can't cross post to the other ones, but my main strategy, my main engagement and all that kind of stuff is happening on LinkedIn, and I'm just kind of cross posting to the other ones. So email marketing, that is a must for any online business owner. For a start, emails get opened and read way more than social media posts. For me personally, my open rate on my emails, and when I'm talking about open rate, I mean the percentage of people who've been sent my email and actually opened it, is on average about 40 to 50%. And some of my emails are even higher than that. They're 80 to 90%. Whereas social media is way, way less. Like, if you're not sure the exact percentage, just look at the amount of followers you've got and then see who has commented on it or watched it if it's a reel, and see the difference in the numbers there. Obviously, the one difference to that is if something goes viral, but that doesn't always necessarily mean more clients. So then the third kind, if I was choosing 3 things to focus on for marketing, I would mix up that other option each quarter to see which one works best for you. So in quarter one of 2025, I'm going all in on podcasting. So no surprise. And it's great to have you here and listening to this. So, right, we've covered now domains, professional email address, and marketing. And let's look at decision number 4, and that's how people can book a call with you. Now, you don't actually have to use any tech for this if you don't want to. But let's imagine for a second, would you scrub your clothes in the sink every single day? If I did that, I would be scrubbing all day, every day. I honestly don't know how 2 boys can get through so many clothes in a week. That's why we use a washing machine. It saves us time, energy, and lets us focus on the things that are important. While there's nothing wrong with going back and forth with the client in the DMs or over email, or even speaking to them, trying to look through your diaries and try and find a time and a date that works for you both. Imagine if you could just send them a link and they could see all the availability on your calendar. They book in that call and it automatically sends them the Zoom link that they need to join. It even then sends us reminders that the call is coming up with links that they can reschedule and cancel should they need to. This is where tech can really help speed up those kind of everyday tasks within their business. And the tool that I use for this is TidyCal. TidyCal is great because it's a one-time fee and it connects with all your calendars, your Zooms, all that kind of thing to do all those steps that I've just told you. Okay, we're now getting on to that 5th and final decision, and that is, how are you going to get paid? Now, obviously, there is nothing wrong with sending an invoice. Send an invoice with your bank details in and people can pay you. But the problem is, what if they don't? What if you end up having to chase them for that payment? I've fallen foul of that. And that was when I made the decision that I was going to get an online payment system so that people pay me first before they can get access to my services. Now, there are 3 ways you can do that. You can set up a Stripe account, and that will help you take card payments. You can set up a PayPal business account, and that means you can take PayPal payments. I use a system called Thrivecart, and I'm going to talk about that a lot more in a future episode. But Thrivecart is a more advanced checkout system, but it means that I can connect it to my email marketing platform. I can do discount codes. I can even offer affiliates so that people can sell my products and services and get commission if people then join. So there's lots and lots of things that you can do with Thrivecart. But the point I want to get across really is that tech can make these everyday systems within our business so much easier, and they don't have to cost the earth. Like I said, Stripe and things like that are completely free to use. So anything that can make our life easier is a win. I hope you agree with that. So thank you so much for joining me in this first episode. I hope I haven't blown your brains too much with all these tech decisions, but I'm just going to run through them again just to kind of sum up where we've got to. So we covered buying a domain name, setting up a professional email address, how you can market yourself, booking calls for your services, and getting paid. Once you've made those 5 key decisions for your business, whether you're going to use tech to help you do that or not, you've got a business that's running for you. Now, if you do need help with the tech, That's where I'm here to help you. Come and join the This Mum Loves Tech community. The link will be in the show notes. Come and ask your questions, and I would love to help you set up some of the tech that can make these everyday business decisions super easy, super affordable, and give you back time to do what you love the most. Thank you so much for joining this episode today. If you have loved it, there's more to come. This is just the very first one. I'm just getting started. If there's a particular tech tool you'd love to know more about, please let me know in the comments or in the Facebook group. And I hope you subscribe to the channel, and then you get to hear straight away when a new episode is released. And I will be back very, very soon with the next This Mum Loves Tech episode.